Can you hear me? Do you want to hear me? Well, I was up here last week again, and three things I want to talk about this morning before we start what we're going to do this afternoon is I want to remind you that next Sunday is our church potluck. And if you've not been to a potluck, you can bring stuff. You don't necessarily have to, but you can bring hot dish, cool dish, dessert, whatever. And we just have a wonderful time, and it's a great way to get to know the folks within the church, you know. Because if you see a couple sitting off by the side and nobody's talking to them, go over and sit with them. Go over and sit with them, introduce yourself, and say, you know, boom, 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 and just have a great time. And that's what the potluck is for. It's to bring us together. Because people have a tendency to kind of, oh, gosh, I don't want to sit next to that person, so they sit off to the side. So just kind of be a little forceful, sit down, have a great time. So that's next Sunday after our 10 o'clock service. Number two, I'd like to remind you that we still have a service on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I've got this young guy that's teaching the Word. And what are you laughing at, David? That young guy happens to be me. And what we're trying to do, and I think it's being successful, is not only teach the Word, but also talk about the Word. Because I encourage people, you know, if you raise your hand. Raise your hand, because I'll call on you and say something, and it can be a question, it can be a thought, it can be a different interpretation possibly of what I said, but it's part of our family getting together. And what's a Bible study for? To learn. To learn. It's not for me to try to push down your throat what I think is right. It's for me to teach the Word line by line, verse by verse, and for you guys to raise hands and say, you know what? Consider this, or what does that mean? And so we have a great time when we do that. So consider that. Consider that.